Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Very good afternoon to you guys all out there, wherever you are on the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank God it's Friday. Oh yes, it is Friday. The weekend is here. And it is the first day in the past 13 days that there will not be any games. No Club World Cup game tonight. Oh yes, the first day in the past 13 days that there will not be any games tonight. Maybe we can have a rest. Ladies and gentlemen, but quickly, clubs that are already through. The last 16 clubs left out of the 32. Yes, the 16 clubs that remain in the Club World Cup right now. How many? Where are they from? Ladies and gentlemen, all the Brazilian clubs are still in it. Yes, Botafogo, Palmeiras, Flamengo, Fluminense, all are still in right here. The last 16 teams that are in the Club World Cup are the teams that I'm mentioning for you right now. Botafogo, Palmeiras, Flamengo, Fluminense, all from Brazil. Manchester City and Chelsea. Yes, Manchester City and Chelsea. The two teams from England, they are still in the game. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. The team from Germany, they are right here. Two teams from Germany, Bayern Munich and Dortmund, they are right in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Inter Milan and Juventus from Italy, Italiano, they are right here represented. Real Madrid, yes, you hear me right. Real Madrid, the only team from Spain in this Club World Cup. Real Madrid, the only team from Spain. Where is the so-called almighty Barcelona? They are nowhere to be found. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, Inter Miami from the United States of America, the host nation. One team remaining from the host nation, Inter Miami. We know Inter Miami. Who is there? Eh? Mention the time. I'm asking questions. I told you, don't be wasting my time when I'm asking questions. Messi, Inter Miami, Messi are still in the game. Ladies and gentlemen. Then we have Benfica. Yes, Benfica right there. We have PSG also right there. Monterrey right there. And then the last but not the least, Al Hilal from the Saudi, still in the tournament. 16 teams remaining in the Club World Cup so far. Ladies and gentlemen, now back to the Premier League quickly. This is your lunch hour news and I'll not be taking much time. Premier League. Yes, the latest coming from the Premier League is that the Premier League TV coverage will feature touchline interviews with substituted players for the first time next season. As part of the USA Star innovations, camera operators will also be allowed to enter the field of play to capture close-up footage of celebrations and will be granted access to changing rooms of teams. Listen. You know why I'm doing like this? No player will be willing to talk to any cameraman at that time. And do you think players are happy to be substituted? Talkless, you want to put camera on the person, give microphone to start talking to camera. These are things that, this is not basketball that you can be taken out and you can be brought on. In basketball, they can take you out. You take a rest, 5-10 minutes, they can bring you on. Not in football. A player that is being substituted is already angry. Apart from the fact that he's tired, he's angry, unless you're not a footballer, unless you've never played football before. Not necessarily a professional footballer, but any player that is being called out from a game is not ready to talk to anyone. I'm telling you the truth. Anyone that knows a thing or two about playing football will know the last thing any player wants after being subbed out is an interview with the mainstream media. I don't see this as a good idea at all. No. I don't see that's a good idea. Premier League, Anyway, the truth is that anyone that knows a thing or two about football will agree with me on this. Yeah. Will agree with me on this. But let's wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, back to some transfer news. We understand there have been some briefings, club briefings, yes, earlier today. Club briefings earlier today. And few things that came up in a briefing, ladies and gentlemen. Few things that came up earlier today in the club briefings. We understand Chelsea want Emiliano Martinez as their starting goalkeeper. And Enzo Maresca has asked. Willie Calabaro has also given the go-ahead. The player wants to stay in England, so it's an option for Chelsea. 33-year-old goalkeeper. We couldn't add extra £2-3 million to buy Mike Maignan. Now we are talking about 32 years old goalkeeper. We are talking about 32 years old goalkeeper. Plug that in for me, it's about to go off. Hey. Oh my goodness. 32-year-old goalkeeper. How? I don't get it. For Chelsea to add £3 million, £2 million, and get Mike Maignan, we are talking about 32 years old to 33. Come on, let's come again. I don't get this. You see, these are some of the things. I understand goalkeepers never get old. Sometimes the older they get, the more experience they have. But ladies and gentlemen, instead of Martinez, let's get Mike Maignan deal done. We still have time. We have time. £15 million. We offered. They said no. Give them what they want. At least increase it to 18 and get the deal sealed. Ladies and gentlemen, now, we understand, according to the report from the briefings we are receiving today, yes, from the briefing, Mike Penders, the youngest goalkeeper in Chelsea, we understand will not return to raising gang this upcoming transfer window. No, he will not be going on any loan. Chelsea believe the player has a future and therefore they want to keep him around the first team squad. Chelsea has let it be known to other clubs that are interested that he will not be going out on loan. Chelsea wants the player, Mike Penders, to remain with the first team squad. Means that they have seen the potential in the player and they want him to hang around with the first team squad. Now, usually 3 goalkeepers in the team. So even if we are to sign either Mike Penders or Martinez, one of Petrovic, Sanchez will have to go. It is what it is. We understand Petrovic, Galatasaray are working to seal the deal. But I would have preferred, maybe Chelsea fans, you and I will know, we would have preferred that instead of Petrovic going, Sanchez rather goes. Ladies and gentlemen, but Mike Penders, we understand Chelsea want to keep him around. So he is not for sale. Penders is not for sale. Yes, he is not for sale. And because as it is right now, Aston Villa's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez, who is set to leave the club this summer, Chelsea are showing interest. If he is going to come in, then both Sanchez and Petrovic are likely to go. If Chelsea really want to sign Martinez from Aston Villa, then what that means is that Sanchez is equally likely to go. Understand, Enzo Maresca highly appreciates the Argentine World Cup winner. Martinez prioritized the Premier League and Chelsea FC moving swiftly to get a deal done. We wait to see to get a full confirmation of this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, from the club briefings, Niza Kinzala reports that Chelsea could sign as little as 2 or 3 players this summer. 2 or 3 players this summer, according to Niza Kinzala. Coming up from the Chelsea club briefings, Chelsea could sign just 2 or 3 players this summer. And Who is asking for more? No one is asking for more. All we want is an experienced center back, a left winger, and now we got the lap, right? Let's just get replaced Nkuku. Let's just replace Nkuku. I mean, the left winger, we know that Sancho is gone. Modric is no longer there, so we need a left winger. If we succeeded in getting Gittens, let's just get someone who can be a good backup to Kopama. Very simple. Santos, yes, Andrew Santos is there, but we need a player that can play multiple positions to break down. That is why Kudus, I favor Kudus for that position. Or Rogers. Yeah, either Kudus or Rogers for that position. Let's get one of these, and in addition to Gittens, we have Dilap. We are good to go for the season, I believe. As for the striker issue, unless a miracle happens, I'm not too sure Chelsea are going to get another striker. Ekitike is no longer in the line, in the news right now as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Chelsea want 2 attackers this summer. One, the left wing profile like Gittens to replace Sancho Modric. Another is a versatile attacker, just as I said, assuming Christopher Nkuku leaves. Assuming Christopher Nkuku leaves. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Joao Felix has been offered to a club in Saudi Arabia. Chelsea stands with Andrew Santos, Noni Madueke, Nicola Jackson, and yes, so as it is right now, Chelsea are not looking to sell any of these players. Andrew Santos, Noni Madueke, Modric, unless there is a good money that our owners are actually, yeah, that one I cannot guarantee. If there's a good money for Nicola Jackson right now, 45 million, 50 million pounds, I know they will let him go. They will. Andrew Santos, we bought him how much? We bought him less than 10 million. If there's a good money around at 30 million pounds, 35 million pounds, they will let him go. Noni Madueke, 45, 50 million, they will let him go. But ladies and gentlemen, right now, according to the reports we are receiving, none of these players are up for sale as we speak. Christopher Nkuku, yes, might be let go if a good offer comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Gittens is expected to join Chelsea for up to 55 million pounds. The add-ons will be tied to easily achievable targets like games played, with more difficult ones usually tied to winning the UEFA Champions League or World Player of the Year, according to the build. So Gittens, the 55 million pound plus add-ons, that is what Chelsea are working on right now to agree on terms with Dortmund. Ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is. Your lunch hour and it's your weekend. I'll see you guys all in the next one when you see me. Shalom and peace.